Hello, welcome to Line War. Today we're doing Command School and we're trying to learn how to defeat the Arty and Sam Rush. It's on slow mo at the minute. We're in sandbox mode. This is not a real game. It's just a scenario I've set up myself to see if I can stop this onslaught. Now, I've started the game in a very extreme fashion where the enemy has a ton of units and I have a ton of infantry. You know how I like to start my games with a lot of infantry so I can expand the map with expendable units. However, in this case, it's never been helpful because they get slaughtered by the artillery. So, if I put it up to ×2, we'll see that they're getting countered. And, well, I die pretty quick. So how would I deal with this? Now I've got to deal with him quick, so I'm going to have to respond before my units get to him. So if I put it back to normal speed. Well, if you see all of this and you don't have the economy, at the moment I do, you definitely want to start building a nuke. Because even if I start sending over my helicopters, they'll get chewed up by the SAM that's even just nearby. These SAMs will start shooting and stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty dense of artillery here, so this probably isn't too bad of a trade. But there is a SAM unit there, so I should do some damage, but these helicopters won't last long against this. So I need a nuke. If I don't have the economy, turn off all of these guys. Any barracks you have, just turn them off. They're not going to survive. Maybe use some commandos to do some sneaky tactics, again, only if you have the economy. But you want to focus on these and just get your artillery up. If you see no air units, only build artillery. If you've got some air units, maybe switch this into interceptors so you can focus on artillery on the ground. Okay, and if you can afford it, don't just build one. Build two, maybe even three. Okay, at the minute I've got loads of economy because, well, I'm kind of cheating, alright? But I've kind of ran out and one of them's not working, so I am just going to turn off these guys. And there's the button. So you press F3 to turn off everything, or you double click one of these structures and it will select everything on screen that's the same, and you just turn off all production. Now my economy is going to get a sudden boost and all the rockets should happily start building fairly soon. I hope. Let's just make sure they are building. There we go, it's starting to build it. But these artillery, at the very best, are just being slowed down by my infantry. I got a couple of artillery mixed in there because of this thing, which I'll turn back on. And I don't know if I got any more, so I'm just going to double click it. I don't. But yeah, so turn these guys off. If you even want to get extra economy, blow them up. You don't need them anymore, because the artillery is just going to absolutely slaughter your infantry. Maybe keep a couple for commandos, as I said earlier. But they're going to want to blow up, so let's get rid of them. There we go, they're gone. Right, now we're going to focus on these. And the reason I'm building them in a sort of semicircle manner is because I want them to be stationary here in kind of like a line like this. So when they come towards this area, they're all going to shoot at the same time. Those helicopters are actually doing a bit better than I thought they would, to be honest, but that's because I think I haven't selected these lines to include SAM. Let's take the SAM through. Take the SAM through. There we go. And let's just make sure this is a dangerous situation. He can destroy me if I fail. I might fail. I don't know. There are a lot of units here. And I don't have much infantry to back this up with right now. So I am going to try and split some off. And the reason for that is because I don't want too many units being caught out by this right now. I want them to move and then slow down and then move again and slow down again, so that my rockets have more time to build, pretty much. But I want to keep him here. Definitely don't want him to move out of this area, because if he stays in this area, all of his units have to clump up all together to get there. Right, you guys come through here and do that. But just remember, try and store up your artillery. Keep them growing while they're losing theirs. I have 3 rockets here, so I could spread this out a little. Can't remember which one I built first, but it doesn't matter. I started production at the same time. But this would be a perfect time to fire these rockets. I'm really looking forward to using one on them. Come on, we're running out of time now. So this is sort of like a time game. It is a bit of pressure. But all you got to do is manage your energy and your economy, and you should be perfectly fine to defeat an Arty and Sam Rusher. I mean, I'm lucky I didn't even think about it on this map, but this is a choke point. You've got to use the environment to your advantage. Don't fire all nukes either. Fire one, it might get taken out by SAM units. If it does, try again. Just try a bit lower down. Even if you don't take out as many. Right, remember to put this production back on. So we want helicopters because they're so close to us. Helicopters are probably the most effective one. Will that hit? It does. Now we can probably go for one a bit further out. What? Did that just blow up and then not actually fire? That's crazy. Right. That is some serious bad luck, I think. I thought I had the advantage on that one. I know that that wouldn't work because there was too many units. I think it blew up but didn't do the effect because they must have shot it just in time. I don't know. Must have been like a keyframe error. That's kind of funny as well. Let's turn that off. I don't need my units coming through there now. But I am going to have to defend this. I'm going to let him destroy this because I don't really have much of a choice. See if I can defend it now, even though I just messed up then. So the SAM will destroy your rockets. It's something you've got to be careful of. I am wondering if they'll even build in time. If you have to sacrifice your units, it's something you have to do, but in this scenario it's not too bad. Shouldn't have that up anymore. Just make sure you keep a concave around him so that your units are firing just as much as his are. You should slow him down enough to be able to fire these rockets again. Without sacrificing too many of your units, but I will lose this eventually. But this concave line here should give me a bit of an advantage. For so long. Can that fire yet? I haven't actually set up energy production on this map, but should be fine. Right, and I am going to fire that one first. I think that might be going too far into it, but there's a minimum range, so I might not be able to do this. Does that actually blow him up this time? Did, finally. So we actually got through this time. Now this isn't just like set spawn. They are still producing these SAM and artillery units. So I am going to have to keep on trying to defend this. There we go, we got some more down. Let's send my air units that way. I'm going to send these straight through there like that. There we go, let's hit the farm. That farm is a highly strategic zone, we're going to nuke it. There we go, I've taken out his complete front line with the nukes. Even though I've messed up here, I was still able to fend him off later on. I lost a lot more units than I was hoping to because I wasn't expecting to lose that rocket there because it went off, but it just didn't show. I don't know what happened there. Maybe it's because I'm on ×2 mode, so it did mess up a little. However, he's still got more units than me, so I'm not actually going to try and go on the attack. I'm going to try and bring these back. Go back. He doesn't seem to have a lot of SAM units there at the minute, so I am just going to stick to these. But now I've got 3 rockets being produced with also these. And another thing you should do is always continue to build these. Because you should have a bigger economy, so you should start being able to outpace your enemy. So, for the sake of this battle, I am just going to overload it. Judge it's that. That took quite a while to set up, and it did cost me there, but oh well. We have another nuke, we can just fire that. And if you have a spare nuke, in this situation I think I'm doing okay. I could be doing better, but I'm doing okay. Try and figure out where his production is and just blow it up. Anything. I'm going to say that would probably be best. If nothing else, you get a scout, because it's going to fly straight over their stuff. I've got another rocket again. As long as you've got the energy to keep this up as well, it actually works. But you see, you're starting to change the tide of the war because of these nukes. You just got to try and use them a bit more strategically. I also know a lot of his units are coming through here, so I might damage a lot as they come through. I'm going to move that back down a bit, so then I've got 2 lines of units. I'm going to try and bring some units up here and around, and that way I can start flooding against his in multiple different directions. But he's also mixed with Sam, and he's not using air units himself. In this situation, I'll admit I'm cheating, but still. It should be fine to be able to outpace him with just artillery alone, and rockets. And you try and use these as anti-air instead. So I've got some units sneaking around up there, and they're doing alright. I wouldn't suggest having captured territory on, and this late in the game you probably just want to push forward. Taking his territory isn't a bad thing, but you don't want to do it with your frontline units. So you want to have your frontline units moving as fast as possible. Delete that, I don't need to worry about this front line. My artillery is now outnumbering his. So I'm probably going to put some headers there, because I actually can't remember how I've set up his base. And I'm just going to send it across. Now I can scout, I've got more ability to use more information. If I wanted to, I could nuke that section, but that's kind of low reward there. Let's take out this city. Well, town, it's not a city. Yeah, that's been met with Sam, so I'm going to delete that, but I can now see there's more production there. Destroyed that too. These are sneaking around, we're getting some units around him now. As you can see, I'm not going to play this till the end, but we have successfully pushed him back. I'll admit a real battle might be very different, but as for a solution when you're not prepared and you see it coming towards you, this might be your best bet. Anyway, there are 2 videos on screen right now. If you'd like to watch them, I'll see you there. And remember to subscribe. See you around.